and welcome to The Bite. My name is Jackie and today we're going to be making a delicious Middle Eastern salad called tabbouleh or tabouli, whichever you like to call it. My version is a little bit different from something you may have seen in a grocery store or a restaurant because I like to add tons and tons of vegetables for added color and crunch and just extra freshness. So let's show you what we're going to be using. I've got 2 bunches of parsley. I've used flat leaf and a curly parsley as well. I just like to mix the 2 of them. I've got 3 bell peppers here, different colors. I have 2 tomatoes. I've got some Persian cucumbers here. You can either use these or English cucumbers. I just like that it's a thin skin that you can actually eat and it's not a waxy skin. I've got a red onion here as well, a jalapeno for some spice. I just like the extra spice. You don't have to add it if you don't want to. Some radishes. I've got about 3 or 4 in there. And some fresh mint. You'll also need some dried mint, some lemon juice, black pepper, salt, extra virgin olive oil, and a very important ingredient in tabbouleh is bulgar, which is cracked wheat. So let's get started. What we do with the bulgar first is I just add it to a little bowl. And I soak it for a couple minutes just to rinse it off. You'll notice that the bulgur itself comes down to the bottom while the husk, for lack of a better term, floats to the top of the water. You're gonna rinse it and repeat that process twice, and then we'll get started when we get back. So this is what you're looking for. I just added some water to the bulgur, and you can see that the dark part is at the bottom. That is actually the bulgur itself that we're gonna be using for the tabbouleh. The rest of it is floating to the top. You wanna get rid of all of that. So I'm gonna just repeat this process one more time. Okay, so this is what you kinda want your bulgur to look like. If there is a little bit of water in there, don't worry, it's gonna get seeped up by the bulgur anyways. Kind of acts just like rice does. So I'm putting it into my serving bowl. And this way, whenever you cut your vegetables and add it to your bowl, the water that comes from the vegetables will also get soaked in with the bulgur also. And I like to start next with the tomatoes since they've got the most water out of the vegetables. So I've already washed all of my vegetables and we're just gonna cut them into little bite-sized pieces, finely diced. Okay, so I've got the tomatoes mixed in with the bulgur. Next, I have a red onion here. You can definitely use a yellow onion or a white onion if you wish. Don't use a sweet onion because it won't have the same effect really. And you want to make sure that you cut this into small chunks. You don't really want to bite into an onion. You just want to have the flavor that it gives. Okay, so now we're going to just add our onions. And they're just diced very fine. And the next thing we want to do is our cucumbers. Next thing we want to add are the bell peppers. And what I like to do is kind of chop around the insides so that you can take everything from the center out and you're left with just the part that you want. And this is coming together perfectly. You can see all the pretty colors. And they say every color that a vegetable has gives the body a different type of nutrients. And another tip for these is that you can definitely use a vidalia. If you don't feel like spending, 20 minutes chopping all your vegetables, all you have to do is put the vegetable in, close it, and it's chopped. I just like to do it this way. And remember, our bulgur is at the bottom soaking up all of these delicious juices. So the next thing we're gonna do is the radish. I just cut off both ends and proceed to chopping. Okay, now I'm just cutting up the jalapeno. I'm gonna be taking the seeds out of this, or the majority of the seeds, even though I like it a little bit spicy. Sometimes the pepper itself can be pretty spicy. This is all I'm just gonna leave in there, and I think that'll be just fine. It is a salad after all. It doesn't need to be like, a salsa or anything. So as you can see, the jalapeno is just very, very finely chopped. You don't need big pieces of that. And before you cut the parsley, you definitely want to wash your hands. You don't want the hotness to get everywhere. Okay, so now I'm just mixing this all up. You can see the little pieces of bulgur coming through. between all the little vegetables and everything. You could definitely eat the salad just like this, but the parsley is what makes it into a tabbouleh, so we're gonna be adding parsley today, guys. And when you're shopping for the bulgur, you wanna make sure you get the fine bulgur, not the coarse. So you'll notice that even when it's been soaked, it's still really small. That's what you want. You don't want huge chunks of crunchy bulgur. Okay, so now I'm gonna start chopping up my parsley. And I'm just mixing the two. They've already been removed from the stems like I showed. This is something you could definitely do in a food processor. Option 2 is using a food processor if you don't feel like doing it by hand. And you'll get the same outcome either way. Pulse this on high until it's just fine pieces of parsley. Guys, this is the consistency you want. You want them to be very, very fine pieces of parsley. So now we just want to combine the parsley with all of our vegetables. This salad is seriously perfect for anything that you do in the summertime. It's perfect for summer barbecues, for any dinner, or just as a little snack. Yeah. Nice, quick, healthy snack. And now it's looking like that familiar tabbouleh salad that you've seen at the stores, but with a little twist, with lots of added vegetables. How beautiful does this look, seriously? Next step is adding our dressing. So we're gonna take our fresh mint, and I'm taking about 5 leaves. Oops. And what you can do is stack them up and roll it, and it's gonna act as a chiffonade. So you're gonna just, that way it's a lot easier to cut, and you can even cut it into smaller pieces from there. You don't need too much. I mean, you don't want it to be minty. This just adds a freshness to the salad. We're also adding dried mint. So again, it's gonna come from another source also. So this is just gonna get sprinkled on top. The dried mint is nice, and it's something that I always have to add to teas or anything. Whenever I add it, I just take it in my hand like this, and you can hear that it's, you know, nice and crunchy. I dropped one. And all I do is I take my hands and I let the flakes just kind of fall onto the salad. It's like finely grinding them, but just, you know, with your hands, and then your hands just smell so good afterwards too. Next, we're gonna take our lemon. Just gonna cut it in half. And this is my little handy dandy juicer, citrus juicer. Just to ensure I don't get any, you know, pits in there. And we're just gonna add maybe another half. Okay, now we're just gonna add the salt. You don't need to add too much. I'm just lightly pouring it because the lemon, although it's acidic, it kind of makes up for a lack of salt in a dish. I find it does, at least. And you can always taste it to make sure, you know, if it needs any more. I'm also gonna add a little bit of pepper. And we're gonna drizzle this with a good glug of extra virgin olive oil. The dressing, guys, is being made right on top of the salad. Because guess what? All the vegetables with their juices, that's part of the dressing. You can do this with whatever vegetables you have on hand or whatever vegetables you like to buy at the store. This combination just works very, very well together. And this, guys, is your completed, delicious, colorful tabbouleh salad. It's perfect. However, you can eat it now, or the best way to do it is to give it about 10-20 minutes in the fridge. That way all the juices kind of meld together and it gives you a much juicier finished product. But what I like to do is take some leaves of romaine lettuce, just rip off the bottoms, and put them all around the edge of the plate. It just gives it a nice little presentation, and I'll show you why I like to do it like this. See, I have a very deep love for tacos, and when I eat healthy like this, I still like to feel like, you know, I'm eating a little bit of a taco, because that's one of my favorite foods in the world. So I'm gonna take one of these, this one looks good right here, and we're gonna pile this on like a taco. The romaine lettuce that I added around the edge acts like a little tortilla shell. This is the stuffing, and we have a taco, a tabbouleh taco. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time on The Bite.